Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 19th meeting of the Village of New Paltz Planning Board. Tonight we have our usual administrative business, followed by one public comment and three application reviews. Begin with we would normally be approving the minutes, however, we will look at those next meeting.
Yes, I apologize. I had to finish that one, get that one decision cleaned up and it got in then late, so.
No problem. Next, do we have any updates from our village board and Ulster County Planning Board liaison?
Good evening.
Hello.
Thank you for spending Tuesday night in the village. Nothing new really to report other than that Mr. Michael Baden, who's sitting over here to my left, has been working diligently looking at our code. And he's made a presentation to the village board, which was, a couple times, most recent. And we're gonna need your input as a village board. So as soon as Mike's ready to share that, I'm not sure when that's gonna be, but we value your input. It was something that I did about 10 years ago, spent about a year and a half on reviewing the code, and I can attest that it needs work. I'm glad that Michael's doing it, and look forward to your suggestions if you have any. Great. Any questions for me?
Did you deal with you can't have a bar within 500 feet of a school or a church?
It is in my version, yes.
Awesome. And you're still allowed to keep these.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's no real major change, it's mostly definition.
It's a lot, it's a lot of cleanup, reordering to make it in a little more logical order. I was gonna give a quick update coming up, so.
Sorry if I stole your.
No, that's quite all right. Quite all right.
In any case, thanks again.
Thank you. Were there any updates from the Environmental Policy Board?
There hasn't been a meeting, and it's partly my fault because I was on vacation and I had a hard time getting a quorum because there are new members. So if anybody wants to join the board, please do, if you care about the environment. They only meet once a month, so it's not a huge commitment.
And any updates from our Director of Planning and Zoning?
Just a reminder being that we're 2/3 of the way through the year roughly, roughly. Just either check with me or Nicole about your training hours and just the, reminder that you need to have 4 hours of training each year. So some of you already have it, some of you are missing some, so just check with us and if we find that we need it, I can do some group training toward, October, November, if that is something people want to do. I know we did one last year in December. I'm willing to do another one if we want to do that, so.
Thank you.
And there is, and I did send out an email to the New York Planning Federation. It has their day-long training in mid-September. I don't have the exact date in front of me, I apologize. There is a cost though for that one, so if anybody wants to go, email me, the village will pay for it, but I need to get village board approval before we can approve the voucher. You'll come out of that with 4.5 hours of training, because they have 3 classes and they're an hour and a half each. And that's at the Roosevelt Estate in Hyde Park where they hold that.
Okay.
Did you ever make a quiz for the previous training that you gave?
There was one. The quiz was really just as when I teach that class in person, the quiz is actually before I give the class, so people can kind of what they know, what they don't know. And so that quiz wasn't really to check if you had taken the training or not. The quiz was just sort of with a part of the training.
Okay.
So, no, I did I know, the people that came online, and then I think a couple people watched because we recorded it.
I watched the recording.
Yeah, and I did it on the honor system. If you told me you watched it. put you in for the hours, so. But,
Okay, were there any town planning board updates? Well,
nothing that I'm aware of. I apologize, I haven't checked that diligently.
no worries. Next, I'd like to move on to our, public comment policy, that we were discussing at the last meeting. There were a few changes suggested, and those have now been incorporated. It's printed off here in the packet. Bolded passages were added. I think something you suggested, Rachel, has been, included, and, yeah, we also noted people are always encouraged to supply their comments in writing. Did anyone have, any additional suggestions or comments on the policies at this time?
Mr. Chairman, when this first came up, I did speak against it. And I am, completely changed my mind. I think it's a great idea. I've looked at other planning boards throughout the state. It just seems to me that it gives everyone more opportunity to make a comment. It gives us more opportunity to hear more people's comments. The one thing that I wondered about was, the time limit for allowing a person to speak. So what I did was I looked at what I consider to be some important speeches in the history of our country. And just for the record, the Gettysburg Address is 2.5 minutes. If you can say that much in 2.5 minutes, I think we can be fine 4. The other benchmark is Patrick Henry's "Give Me Liberty or Give Me Death." That's 4 minutes. And we're proposing 4, maybe 3, but remember, the Gettysburg Address was only 2.5. So anyway, Mr. Chairman, I think this is a very good guideline, and I will certainly support it if it comes to a vote tonight.
Excellent, thank you. Well, if there are no additional comments or discussions on it, I'd like to move that we,
Wait, Bill wants to say something.
yes, Mr.
Sorry.
Chairman.
Has this been sent out to the village board to look at?
I'm not sure about
It
that.
hasn't, but, this is a policy that this board or the ZBA would establish for their board.
Right, so I understand that, but it should come up to the village board for review.
It doesn't need to.
Yeah. I didn't think it needed to either.
Whether it's a lead or it would be great to take a look at it.
Okay, I mean, the village board wouldn't need to vote on it, but if
Just
Tim would like to look at it, sure, we can, I'm happy to, pass it along to them.
They meet next week, so I could send it to them and get back an answer for the following meeting.
Okay, yeah, and we'll vote to adopt it then. Next, could we have an update on the zoning code changes?
Yeah, so as Bill said, I've met twice now with the village board, and we'll be meeting again next Wednesday and probably several Wednesdays again after that. We made some changes, it's to the point though that, by next week, I will have all the changes that we made at their last meeting incorporated into the document. So I will more than likely be emailing all of you, where it is at this moment. It's, the mayor asked that I get it to you guys sooner rather than later, so you can start looking at it. Just know that they are tweaking it as we, sort of as we speak. So you'll be getting regular updates. It's not like it's a finished code in terms of the village board sending it to you for referral. So with that, I think, and Zach and I spoke about this last week, that perhaps perhaps we may want to think about a special meeting to just focus on that. And I suspect that would be like end of September, maybe early October, but this way all of you will have a month to look at it at your own leisure. So I don't know if you wanna, we're missing 2 members, so we probably should wait until we have everybody to try to find a date if you wanna do a special meeting and talk about it, but.
Yeah, I think we can wait till our September meeting.
And so what you'll get is a red line version of the code, which shows the changes. You'll get red line versions of the various schedules. I've also done sort of a bullet point synopsis of the key, 10-mile view changes. So you can use those to reference the actual code to see the details of what changed. And then, as I said earlier, there's a lot of reordering, so I took all the chapter titles and have an existing chapter titles and another column next to it that shows where they've moved to help everybody sort of get through it, so kind of a Cliff Notes version of it. But this is something that the village board, in our conversation, we'd like to try to move it through the process through the fall and have it set to go by next year if possible. But there's some new concepts, I'll leave it at that, like the R1. At the last village board meeting, we sort of determined that the R1 zoning district may not really be necessary anymore. And we moved some to R2 and we moved some to R3, and that was not in the original presentation, but through the dialogue, it kind of came up that the R1 doesn't really fit anymore. So that's one of the changes. And there's a number of changes in how things are done. So, and Emily, I guess probably when I refer to the board, you should probably, but just know, as I said, that it's still a moving target. What I'm trying to do is anytime we make new changes, I'm trying to do them in a totally different color. So, hopefully I don't run out of colors before we run out of changes, but this way you can sort of follow along.
Okay.
That's the update. So look at your emails next week, and probably midweek, and I should have it out to everybody.
All right, great.
Mr. Chairman, what is our authority? Do we just review it and?
So under state law, any land use laws must be referred to the planning board for review and comment. So you're commenting back to the village board, your expertise and you're the board that works with the code probably the most, or the building department, those two boards, and so that's the authority, is that it must be referred to you, and you can choose to make comments back. What level they are is up to this board. If they want to be very specific, or if you want them to just be generic, however you want to do that.
Thank you.
Okay, next up we have our public comment section. Did anyone sign up for public comment tonight?
No, and there is nobody online.
Okay,
Let me double check if you want. No, it's just my other computer.
okay. Then moving on to our first public hearing, could I get a motion to reopen the public hearing for PD 2514, 44 Church Street?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Would anyone like to make a public comment on 44 Church Street? Okay. Seeing none, could I get a motion to close the public hearing for 44 Church Street?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. Moving on to then our first application of the night, we have PB 2514, 44 Church Street. Come up, please.
Here's a copy of that. No, you got it.
Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Evening.
Just, Mr. Chairman, we got the county comments back and they're in your packets, so they just gave you.
Yes.
In the packet as well.
I see that. And is that the paper version of the latest site plan?
It is not, it's, a highlighted, version.
Okay.
Because I didn't get the comments back from the county. I was waiting for that before I contacted my engineer again.
Oh, we got them.
Oh, I see. So we, the one online is the same as that version that is in front of you?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah,
Great.
except, I added some highlighting here just to, go over with the board.
Okay, well, do you want to walk us through what you
Okay.
are proposing?
Yeah, so, Rachel and I met on the site regarding the fence, and I invited, the neighbor, Katie Silberg, who's, the most affected by the project. She lives at the bottom of the driveway. And we walked over to Orchard Heights, over to Turtle Rock, and we came up with a plan to put a fence in this corner. To keep my tenants from trespassing onto the neighbor's property, as well as everyone coming down Orchard Height, from Prospect Street, coming down Turtle Rock, and then cutting through my property and coming down and disturbing the neighbors at night.
Sure. What type of fence are you proposing?
A chain link fence, a 4-foot chain link fence.
I see.
That's what we currently have coming down both sides of the property here. This area all in here is what used to be John Street and Spring Street, is very, very wooded. Lots of trees and brush and whatnot. And, I think the chain link fence will still allow to be able to see the nature, and keep people from, cutting through.
Yeah.
And,
Mhm.
at the meeting, Rachel and the neighbor were in agreement with it.
Okay,
There's also a little section here, that, does not currently have a fence. The fence comes up here, but there's no fence here. I agreed to put a fence there as well for the neighbor, even though everyone acknowledged that people aren't cutting through there because it's just so overgrown.
so the current plan has 4-foot chain link fence going all the way down to the road?
Yes, it has it coming down this side and this side of the property. And then there's a fence that comes across here. And, yeah,
Is that? Thought there were some restrictions on using chain link fence like at least on the street frontage.
Should be double checked.
But
yeah, well, I guess this technically isn't the street frontage. This would be a side yard.
True.
But,
yeah, but the neighbors want that.
yes,
They want that fence.
that's there now.
Right,
Yeah. Well, what they really want is plantings up here on both sides, which is on the plan.
I'm sorry, are you saying that the fence is currently in place or that it's currently?
This fence, the fence that runs between Silberg's house and this existing house lot that is already existing,
There, okay.
as well as on the other side on both sides of the property running up.
Is it the pink? Is that where the fence will be?
Well, this is where the new
Yeah, the new
fence,
fence.
the new fence would be,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you have no plans to build anything on that property where you're tearing the house down?
Correct.
And so that could theoretically be planted up. It's really an interesting,
Well, that's where the
Space.
driveway is going.
yeah, well, they have to put a driveway, there's already kind of a little driveway there.
Yeah,
So they would make the driveway bigger, but it wouldn't take up the entire lot.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
we'd
it
be,
could be the sidewalk, the county's telling me to put a sidewalk.
So I'm looking in the code and there's only restrictions on the height, not on the material.
Okay,
So it's 4 feet in the front yard. And in residential districts, between the street and the front line of the principal structure shall not exceed 6 feet. Oh, no, 4 feet, excuse me, and 6 feet behind the front line of the structure. So from the street to the structure, 4 feet, from the structure back 6 feet.
and so aside from the fence and the plantings, I guess, you're showing, are there any other changes to the?
so, yes, I'd like to, instead of having the entrance come in around the back of this building, have it, right now, there's an existing walkway that comes up here into what's our existing office. I'd like to use the office and add some space from the new section on the ground floor. And instead of coming around the back, come in the side here so that it's just a little friendlier. You're not walking around the back and walking that much further. But in doing that, I'd like to take the walk-in basement of this unit and create an office there.
Okay, but that's all internal
Yeah,
building.
yeah,
Are you adding a new walkway?
yes, yeah, there'll be a walkway here. I asked when we were walking through, I had asked the neighbor, Katie, what she thought of that, and she said she didn't have any problems with it.
So the building is the current office? Is that
Yeah,
gonna remain office?
no, currently in the walkout basement of this unit, we have an office in there.
Okay.
And my original plan was if we built and connected these two buildings together, to put the 4-bedroom that we're taking the house down and put it in here and break through into the basement of this one. But after some thought, I think it's easier to just use this space where our office is and then just create a smaller office over here.
You use it for what?
What's that?
You're gonna use the current office space for what?
Oh, for the 4-bedroom apartment, which is already proposed in the basement of this section.
How many bedrooms are you adding? Just,
So. I don't have the floor plan. I'm adding 3 apartments. 1 4-bedroom and 2 3-bedrooms.
6 additional bedrooms.
Correct.
I noticed the county letter, recommended you are using, the non-petroleum based power. Like a, mini split instead of, propane.
Yeah,
And when we were at the site, you said, oh, well, maybe I'll put in the mini split, but now the county's actually telling you, hey, you really should do it.
yeah.
Well, let's go through the county recommendations one by one.
Sure.
So first off, the lighting,
Yeah,
they have some suggestions on the
yeah,
lighting.
so as far as the lighting
Yeah.
goes, if we can figure everything out, and the board's happy, I'll hire a lighting designer, engineer to, design lighting for this entire piece of property. And that will satisfy,
Sure,
the county.
great.
But I don't want to incur the cost unless we're on the same page.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think once we have a finalized site plan, then you can
Yeah.
place the lighting appropriately. And so then next up was the pedestrian access. I was wondering if you had any ideas for that, any suggestions?
Well, putting in a walkway kind of negates the plantings and getting the pedestrians away from the neighbor's house. Currently, we have 32 people, here on the property, and the driveway is 25-foot wide, and we don't have that much traffic that I think that it's an issue. I think the plantings, better use for the space. Mike brought up a possibility, I don't know if he.
Can we get a talk maybe about the possibility of using part of that driveway, one side or the other? Probably the northern side, because that's where the utility pole is. And striping it and creating a walkway, of some kind. Because the 25 feet is only necessary for fire truck access,
Yeah,
not for vehicle access, so. That is a possibility, because, Mr. Johnson had said on the phone that. To me, in order to do a sidewalk, you would need a large retaining wall, because it slopes downward there.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think that's a good option. I do believe that the plantings and adding some landscaping along the driveway is important, so I would hate to lose that.
The county letter also mentions street lighting along that, the walkway. Is that something?
Yeah.
You're interested in?
Yeah, well, that would be included with the engineers, lighting designers, recommendations.
Yeah. Yeah, just some lighting going along the driveway.
Yeah, we, on our property down the road, we have these, ballasts that stick up about this high, and they shine light down on the path.
Yeah, that would be great. And then the last item was the sustainability, which Rachel mentioned. So they were suggesting use of LED lighting.
Yeah.
I mean,
Currently have, yes,
I don't really think this is a large enough project to necessitate electric vehicle charging stations. But yeah, I'm curious about your thoughts on the heat pumps and using heat pumps for the section of the building.
said previously, my last project, I did the whole thing in heat pumps. I'm happy with them. We have them in our house. I'd hate to commit to having to do them, but if that's a sticking point, I would commit to the heat pumps.
I see.
Uh,
Um. All right, I mean, how does the board feel? Is that?
Well, isn't it gonna be the law that all the buildings have to go electric soon?
Yeah, I think it's
So
like
you
the
might as
first,
well
the
do
first of the year.
Yeah.
I hear
so
that.
I think it would make sense.
I think as of 2029, if I remember correctly, new construction.
Oh, okay.
So
This is,
if it's already existing with fossil fuel, or you're allowed to continue, but any new construction, I think it was 2029.
Yeah,
2020.
I thought I saw 2026, but you
Okay, well. I mean. If it's not too difficult with the existing buildings, then I think the board would prefer that, but. If, you know, if that's going to be a big burden, then
Yeah.
just write, give us some letter explaining the situation, why it's
Okay.
difficult. We can consider that.
yeah,
Actually, I just looked, building 7 stories or less is in 2026, so you are correct.
oh, 7 stories or less.
Wow,
yes.
Taller buildings are the 2029.
It's not that difficult to put in heat pumps.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
electric.
no, it's just, each heat pump was like 6,000 plus or minus. And each bedroom needs one, and then in the common area, it is substantially more, which, you make it up in the long run, because you have air condition and heat. I think what a lot of people are concerned about is the reliability of them, and
Well, I mean,
yeah,
I've seen them now where they're selling them where it's one big outdoor unit that connects
Yeah.
to several indoor units,
Yeah.
and that's a lot better than what I have and what a lot of
Yeah.
other people have now, which is
Yeah.
a single outdoor
Yeah.
unit for every indoor
Yeah.
unit,
the
but
issue with that is the efficiency with that single outdoor unit with the multiple heads, the efficiency drops substantially.
who does it?
And then if one unit goes down, the whole place is down. So that's my last project, I put, for efficiency, I put one to one. And that drove the price up significant, but if by tenants, if one goes down, at least the tenants still have heat coming from the rest of the place.
Okay, well, yeah, just consider
Okay.
putting that into a letter to the board, I'll do that next time. I guess, Emily, could you talk to us about the next steps of the EAF part 3, and what we need to do there?
Sure, so, where we left off last time with the EAF part 2, as I recall, was that we, had marked a potential impact on community character, and we wanted to have more clarity on the mitigation measures. So if we are now clearer on the fact that we'll be adding the fence, and was there anything else, or basically just the fence? We can-
Sidewalk.
Yeah, and maybe the landscaping along the road also contributes to that, like
Sure.
screening,
I think the additional lighting as well, part of that, or the LED lighting.
Yeah,
because
okay,
the neighbors had some concerns about lighting.
so we can, draft up the EAF part 3 knowing that.
Okay, great. So, yeah, we'll do that for the next meeting. And yeah, I would say that we can. Once that is ready, and it seems like you have everything you need now. Final version of the site plan, is that correct?
Okay, if you could just give me a little, as far as the walkway, what would the board prefer seeing?
Not asphalt.
Well, I think we were talking about just striking part of the driveway, right? So no
Right.
additional asphalt would be added.
Yeah, okay.
I can check with John, I can check with Alex about what the widths need to be.
Okay,
Sketchy. I'll send you an email or give you a call with those answers,
okay, thank you.
so we can find out what that width should be. I was saying 3 feet, but it might only have to be 30 inches, so I'll find out what he prefers.
Okay.
Great, so then we'll have the part 3 next time in the final site plan, and we'll be able to get you your resolution approval at that point.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have PB 2516, 15 Warren.
It's like, I thought it was between Church Street and Prospect. And I'm like,
Could you give us a little presentation about what we're
Yeah.
looking at?
Absolutely. So this is 13 Water Street. And it's currently a 3-bedroom home with no parking. What we're proposing is a single bedroom with parking and with the addition of a sidewalk in front of it to connect up to this, where the stairwell leads to the rail trail. So that will there'll be also a better sight line, leading up to the stop sign over here, which will be good because this will all kind of be open again. Well, it's open now, but not with the fence. But it's even a lot better now with the fence. I don't know if you guys have been driving by it at all, but it's definitely opened up quite a bit.
I have been trying to get from Plains Road to the rail trail from that area, which I used to always be able to do without trespassing, I guess, because there was usually a cut through. But that's really important because it's really bad to have to walk on Plains Road there. There's no sidewalk, and if you're coming down from Mohawk, because you don't really have any choice.
Yeah, but there will, once we're done, there will be a stairwell there.
And that a pedestrian could just walk up.
Yep.
Okay.
So, and in fact, that stairwell happens to be mostly on 13 Water Street's property.
Mhm.
So with that said, did you guys have any questions about that?
I just have one question.
Yeah.
I've always been a major proponent of having people who work in the place be able to live on the premises or near the
Sure.
premises.
Yeah.
And the way you have it worded there is that you would have employees live there except when you don't have any employees to live there, and then you're gonna Airbnb it, was what I understood from it, or short-term rental it. And I was just wondering, like, how could you be in a circumstance, like, if you're offering living space as a perk for employment, having that space there so that your employees, can have them, nearby and with an affordable place to live.
Right.
Why would you be in a situation where you wouldn't have employees living there? Why would you need to Airbnb it?
Because in our experience, it's always been temporary housing. It's not, nobody actually stays for an extended period of time.
Right.
So we, just so you're aware, like, we've done this, on 2 different properties.
Uh-huh,
And we've had transient, employees that have come and stayed for 6 months, or they've come and stayed for 2 months or a couple of weeks. And so what we're proposing is in between those stays,
mhm,
that we have the ability to, manage it as a room.
I see. I would just wanna make sure the language somehow prioritizes the employee.
It's absolutely like, the idea is to have it open for that.
Mhm,
And if an employee, needs a place to stay, like, for example, we have a general manager that's now leaving us to move to Hawaii. She's been with us for 3 years. We loved her. It's kind of, I'm like happy for her that she's moving to Hawaii, but I'm not psyched that she's leaving us, because we really liked her. So we're gonna need to find somebody, and that person may come up from the city, may come from someplace else, where we'll be able to house them in a place like this for a time, until they find their own place. Because that's typical of what's happened. People have stayed with us for a time, and then they've found their own place along the way.
mhm.
She actually stayed with us for a time, and then she moved to Kingston.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's not, you have other, how many employees are you gonna have total? I mean, I would imagine it would be, your best bet would be to have your maintenance people living there.
Yes and no. Typically they have their own place to live, and it's, yeah, exactly. So, again, it's, the idea is to keep it open so that we have the ability to house an employee temporarily. It does, ideally, you don't we don't necessarily wanna have an employee there that lives there forever. We wanna have the ability to house different employees at different times,
I see.
as we've done in the past.
And so in addition to this site plan, what other?
Oh, this is the plan for you can see the layout. The web, we're do the layout here.
So that's an elevation.
Elevations of the house. Probably a little bit premature on construction set, but given the fact that we are knocking, we're giving that stairwell to the rail trail, most of it exists on this property. And we were, reducing the size of the actual home from 3 beds to 1. She had it, and in fact, I wanted to stop this because I didn't really want to pay for it like right away, but I didn't have, she got it done so quick that it wasn't, I didn't have a chance to stop her, so.
So the deck is sort of on the side.
Yeah, the stairwell is here. And that's where the parking is, and this, I think, is a shed that we're gonna remove. No reason for that shed anymore. And you can see what this looks like here. Ground floor will be additional bicycle storage for hotel and guests and such. The whole ground floor, in fact, this whole area. Which accounts for, I think there is square footage on it somewhere. Here, there was. Another 353 square feet on the first floor. And then between these 2 floors would be just under 800. And there's living room, kitchen, half bath, and then stairwell leads up to a bedroom on the 3rd floor, closet and master or main closet and the full bath.
space. So one of the questions that was raised is this in a floodplain and has that floodplain been delineated on that site plan?
Yeah, so I still have a question as to whether is in the floodplain. My theory is that that the ground floor is in floodplain,
Oh, yeah, definitely.
which is where. But I don't think the entire ground floor is in the floodplain. I think a small section of it is in the floodplain, but that's all gonna be storage. That's not gonna be living area.
Yeah, I know people who live there and lost all their furniture.
Zach, I did review the FEMA mapping on that site, which is estimates, it's not actual delineation, but given that they're removing the residential on the first floor, they'll be built, the living area is out of the floodplain, even if they are in the floodplain,
Right.
the living area is high enough above the floodplain that it may be no issue. Yeah, you know, whether you want it delineated or not, I'll leave up to you, but given that the first floor is gonna be just used for bicycle storage now, it may be a non-issue.
There's no mechanicals in the basement?
I mean, they're showing a water here, but I think we can easily move that up if we needed to. Just,
You need a really good pump.
what's that?
You need a good pump.
Yes, I know, we are learning that. Wish I know.
The majority of the floodplain is on the other side of the bulkhead or the active
Right.
bulkhead.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And it does, you know, rise fairly quickly there, so
Yeah.
when you look at the mapping, it's not as much in the floodplain as. A little further south is, but that
Upward.
particular area does not appear to be in it. I mean, you could have an engineer looking at the floodplain if you think it's necessary.
I don't think it's necessary if everything is.
If it floods, it's on him.
Yeah, yeah, it's not gonna, so there is a hot water here, and again. I wouldn't have had this completed, I would have had her move this, but I didn't wanna spend any more money with her until. We figured this out, so I could easily change this to a domestic, what appears to be a domestic hot water system to like an on-demand. System that could be on second floor.
Sure, I think if that's necessary, do that.
People can get in and out of the house if the first floor is underwater?
Yes, they can, because they can get to it from the rail trail side, yeah.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. We're waiting for a little bit of water and walk up the outside stairs. So, well,
The next.
hopefully it's only a little bit of water, so.
The next issue was about the easement for the staircase, the rail trail. Has that been filed?
Oh, yeah. That's all set. Yeah. That,
Do we have?
this stairwell,
Yes.
yeah, both Tim and I signed off on it. It's done.
Great. And so then we just need to look through the special use permit questions. Let's see. Let's see. Are those submitted as a single document or just, are they, for the special use permit, are they just answers to individual questions?
Yeah, there is an individual question, so if you go to the application section of the Municipal Lab.
It's under site plan, I think, but then you scroll down.
Yeah,
Site plan and then the application tab and then. what, site plan proposal, maybe? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Permit.
that's where it is. I'll double check right now for you.
Okay. Yeah, so.
Where's special use permit? Under-
So actually, if you go to applications and go to their application, then, or click on, application, not review. And it's under the site plan proposal tab.
Applications, what?
That's just how you get to 13 Water Street.
Okay, so I'm in the
You're
site
right.
plan proposal tab, yeah, and it says special use permit required, and then considering a location and.
Yep.
No, I'm fine.
You're,
Okay.
So, let me just make sure I'm in the same. Right, okay, so, these, will proposed use be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the zoning district, which is located.
And so the special use permit is specifically for the short-term rental use.
Right,
So
yes, and this zoning, this is in the gateway district where short-term rentals are allowed without having to be owner occupied. So I think that it is in harmony with the zoning district.
I completely agree with that.
And, okay, second question, will it hinder or discourage appropriate development or use of just adjacent properties? No. Will operations connected with the special use be more objectionable to nearby properties? I think for one unit, it's not going to make much of a difference there. And
Plus, it'll also be managed by the staff that's located right next door,
So-
so,
And a quick one, they just
Oh,
want
right.
to.
Just an extension.
right.
yeah. And parking is of adequate size, yes, one car. CPA, cranks, any variances, no. All right, I think those all make sense to me. The next step for us, could I get a motion to classify this application as type 2 under seeker?
So,
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
so just to point out on the zoning determination, number 4 on the back, there was an area variance in 1999. But it was for the deck. And that was when that parcel used to be zoned in the F zoning district. So that's Alex's note on the,
So should that last question be updated?
probably, well. I'll sort of defer to what Emily thinks. It's not specifically for the use, it's,
I'm not sure that question is really part of the special use permit.
Okay.
Sure.
they copied that off of our 5 questions on the paper form, so I think it was I don't think it was part of the 5 questions, I think it was a different question.
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
there,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Okay,
I don't know that it really matters, I just want to make sure you were.
Is that variance being used or is that, because the deck is not gonna be there, right?
Well, we're definitely taking a significant chunk out of the deck, yeah, right, I mean, the deck needs to be, right,
The parcel itself, no matter what you do, is a non-conforming parcel.
Yeah.
So they're lessening the impact though by taking part of the deck away.
okay, yeah, I don't think that really has a big effect on the special use. And then the last thing I think we want to do tonight is set the public hearing. Will you be able to notice it before our September 2nd?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah, you would have to have it, I'll send them to you tomorrow, with the letters would have to be out and the signs would have to be up by this coming Saturday in order to,
it is coming Saturday, yeah, that's fine, I can get that done,
I'll get them to you tomorrow.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, could I get a motion to set the public hearing for September 2nd?
So,
Second.
All in favor? Aye. And that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Have a nice rest of your night.
you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, lastly, we have PB 2517, 85 North Chestnut Street.
That'll be the last decision in case you got it. Okay, thank you.
Um, Okay, well, welcome back. It's been a while.
I know, it's been a year or something.
Could you just start by giving us a quick update and an overview?
A
of
quick
what's
update.
happening?
And, we couldn't start last year, we had to wait for we had to wait for the contractor, he missed that line. The turf problem with the, pricing and financially, the bank finally approved it and we got the money. I think this is the last year, financing for that project.
Hmm.
Things are moving very well for it.
Okay.
The contractor backed out last year and start, every time we talk to the new contractor, you wanted this and that, and now we have a solid one, he's ready to go. We're hoping either September, October, we're shooting for.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same site plan, nothing changed on it, still the same design and same application.
And the same. So actually, let's pull up the site plan because some things about the site have changed, correct?
We just gave the easement to the rail trail and they built the rail trail connection to the site. To the new site, and that was in the plan.
Okay.
They made the connection for the rail trail to the Empire State. And that was in the site plan from before.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm just pulling it up to see
Sure.
how that's marked there. Okay, so this 2021 November 30th was the most recent one, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I think we wanna make sure that that's, the exactly how they ended up building Empire State Trail. And it looks
It looks fine.
similar to what is there,
It's
but I'm not
asphalt.
sure.
It has a little stone wall inside.
Um. So. There were couple items that were requested as conditions that were supposed to be eventually included in the plan. For example, there's a special condition about vehicle charging, electric vehicle charging.
Yes, we are committed to put 2 charging stations and every one of them has 2 cars, so it's 4 charging stations, gonna be 4 cars, 4 charging stations.
Great, I think that. So what other items were supposed to be included on the plan eventually, no encroachments? I think we'd like to see all of these, you know, where something was mentioned as, you know, the site plan shall be amended, it would be good to have that in this site plan, before we, you know, move forward to public hearings and you know, referrals and everything.
Yeah, I think it's really the first, like. The first one's up to maybe 10? No. Sorry.
So, yeah, like outstanding issues raised by the fire department,
Yeah.
do we know, what those are? Are you familiar with?
No, there was no issues with the fire department, they haven't looked at the plan and they said it's fine, the route they would take for a gut. For, they drove it, they could drive the truck through,
Right,
Yeah.
well, I think we just need to do a little more research into that then to understand what this was referring to.
Do you have that on page 3? It's, it talks about number 3 on page 3 says there was a fire department email dated November 9th, 2021.
yeah, that was the approval of the. That
I'm
the
looking
truck
at
would turn,
While Mike's reading that, there's also the question about the NYDOT's approval of the 7 on-street parking spaces. Did we ever,
yes, they did,
okay, they got that, so
Yes.
then, if we have their approval, we don't have to have that specific condition.
And what you're using heat pumps for heating and
Yes.
cooling, correct?
Right, and they're around the back and side, and they're gonna be screened.
What's going on with the roof? I don't remember.
Well,
on what?
I
What's
think it's
going
a
on with the roof?
pitched roof.
Pitch roof.
Um,
You got solar on the roof or no?
One part of it's gonna have solar for the outside lighting and the common areas lighting.
Yeah, I haven't looked at this for a long time.
yeah, I mean, I do think that we as a board should, just go through the, previous neg deck and make sure that nothing has changed.
Nothing changed in the plan.
I mean, with the rest of the community and the site, given all the construction that's going on in that corridor, I think it's worth us going through and checking things off. You know, this is significantly different than the other projects, but it's kind of hard to.
Well, there's already a lot of asphalt there, so it's not really,
No, it's not really adding to
Adding,
that, but I just mean it's hard to really understand what it's gonna look like in context
it's
with the rest of
so
it.
hard. So every time I look at a building, a picture, and then I go out and look at it, I'm like, oh my God, it looks so much bigger in person. I mean, just
Right.
from the,
I think, you know, maybe as a rendering that included the actual street or, you know, some of the properties on either side would be.
But those are
Helpful.
storefronts on the bottom, right?
Yes, there's four
Yeah.
storefronts.
They don't look, I mean, usually you have bigger windows and stuff on storefronts. I don't know. Isn't there something about having a big storefront window? I don't.
Yeah, I do think that maybe those could look more like commercial spaces. Um,
I remember the trees were good. They were planted all around it.
I mean, does the site plan show the trees?
The landscaping, didn't we ask for that?
Yes.
We did ask for that.
And
Sorry, I'm a little tired.
Um, So,
I think we mainly wanna look at those first four conditions, first three. The DOT things, we typically allow applicants to do after
okay,
we've approved, but the first three, were our consultants and the fire department's comments that we should make sure were addressed.
yeah, so I mean, I would just assume there's. Okay, yeah, I guess there was some letter from the village engineer that maybe you have, or maybe you can.
Shouldn't
That actually, I think I did include that in the vehicle, I have one from the engineer, the fire, I can't find right now.
Okay,
I think it's, one of the links on the agenda. There's the HPC comment, I don't know, maybe the village engineer it's the applicant's engineer comments. I'll have to find the village engineer one.
mhm,
And the traffic consultant,
That's in the municipal app, it's, it's on the file of the agenda.
okay. So you see what we mean, there's just, you know, a couple different items that were outstanding at the last time, and we just wanna make sure that those are all resolved in the site plan that we are approving.
which two items you talking about?
So there's, you know, a letter from the village engineer, or a memo from the village engineer that has some items. There is there were some outstanding traffic items, and
I mean,
also the fire department.
we did the traffic study and we can,
Right, I'm not talking about the traffic study.
okay,
I'm
numbers 1, 2, and 3 on
You're on,
there.
he's on page 3.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I am.
It's the first three.
Okay, at least there's a date there, I'll try to track it down with that date. Oh, the fire was an email. That may be a little tougher, but we'll try.
I mean, if we can't find it, we will send the site plan back to them and just have them, yeah. I mean, honestly, that might be preferable anyway.
Yeah, you're making a good point, Mr. Chairman, the things have changed on that street. I think all of us have seen it, all of us have felt it, you know, maybe we should have the village engineer review it again as well. The things have happened out there that we're unaware.
What do you mean? I mean, besides the path? But you mean
No,
the
all the-
stories is there and,
Well, there's things that have happened in the infrastructure that we don't even see in
oh,
all the work on that water main. There's probably sewer laterals that have been broken, moved, changed. I mean, when they're doing that job 35 feet at a time, there's things going on underneath that road that we're completely unaware. The village engineer would be very aware.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe we should, get a motion to refer this to some consultants, so could I get a motion to refer this site plan to the village engineer for comment?
So- So
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Aye. So you understand what we're asking for here, and if, you know, if you don't have the memos from 2020,
I don't.
Then-
I'm
then
gonna
we
ask
will-
I'm gonna ask my engineer and, you know, see if he has them. I'm sure he does have them somewhere.
okay.
Those
And our village engineer will look at the site plan again, and, you know, if
Yeah,
there's anything.
we have the items in number 2 already in our possession,
Okay,
the project items.
great. Could we say, if they're not, if there's anything in those memos that is not included in the site plan, could we send that to Ronnie so he can update the
Sure,
site plan?
Yep.
And yeah, as I mentioned before, there's also, you know, just the small thing of adding, you know, where you're going to include those, what is it, electric vehicle charging stations.
I think they are on the site plan, the one we submitted to you guys.
I mean, I don't see them here, I don't see them marked. But maybe there's a newer version that you have that you can send to us. So. Ellie, what would the next steps be with, the previous neg deck? Do we just need to read through that and decide if it still applies?
Yeah, I think we should do that.
Okay. And so I guess that's in Ecolab as well, here.
where would we find them? Where would I-
Or even better, it might be linked in the. Yes, linked in the
I think I linked it in the agenda.
agenda. To native declaration 2021. So it was a unlisted status, condition negative to electric declaration. We have impact on land, no significant erosion impacts are anticipated since the majority of the project site is currently in pervasive flat. I think that still applies, impact on historical and archaeological resources. It was also reviewed by the HPC at that time. Okay. So that was, yeah, that was no significant adverse impacts. I think that's probably still true. Impact on transportation. So I think this one is worth discussing. Since this project was approved, all of the future traffic studies were done with the assumption that this was in operation. So I don't think it's necessary to redo the traffic study. I think all of the subsequent studies were building on this one.
I agree.
So this, and how many additional apartments would there be? It's only.
It's only 15, there's no
Yeah,
additional.
so it's
Nothing.
Again. small impact there.
It's 15, and what, there's 1 or 2 affordable units,
2
2
units.
units.
Impact on noise order light, may result in light shining on adjoining properties. So the mitigation, again, was the lighting plan, the fully shielded lights. Yeah, again, we want minimum overflow to the rail trail. So no significant adverse impacts there. I guess, well. Yeah, I think this still all applies. Were there any other parts of seeker that might have changed that we might need to review this time?
Okay,
The changes with the Empire State Trail are positive.
yes,
Right, any impact on community character that will be
it's an improvement.
made? I would agree with that.
So I guess, what are you gonna move to the other? Where are you gonna go? Where are you gonna put all those taxis?
I don't use the taxis there. Taxis, they're good, stay in the bus station.
No, but there's a lot of taxis on the property, like this,
We just repair them and send them back.
and send them back, so they're
Yeah.
gonna have to get rid of it somewhere.
Yes,
Probably across the street, right?
yes.
That would be better, yeah, right there,
Yeah, I mean, that's the only place that they're gonna go. It's across the street. It's
yeah. So it's an improvement because you're gonna, well, I don't know. The Prospect Street people might, not want to walk it.
Right. Okay, given that, I don't believe that we need to reopen seeker and go through the entire process again. But I think we will need to refer this once again to the Ulster County Planning Board and go through the normal public hearing process. Should we refer it now or wait until those site plans?
You could refer it now, but I can't send it until I get the new site plan. I think I did just find, I just found a truck specs memo from the fire department that may relate to that, so it's from December, November 16th. So that may be it.
Okay. Well, that's good. Could I get a motion to refer this application to the Ulster County Planning Board?
so moved.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And yeah, I think I'd rather not set a public hearing until we have the site plan. And yeah, we can discuss that at the next meeting and.
I mean, that's plan, nothing changed out. It's gonna be the same one.
No, but as we talked about at this meeting, there are some things that were listed here that need to be included in the existing one.
Okay.
So, when we have that, we can, set the meeting at our, September meeting for the second meeting in September, and we'll, have the hearing then, and yeah, we'll move you on your way.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'm gonna request that our attorney perhaps try and help me with this. In terms of the affordable housing units here in the village, and I know that, you know, you're going to provide 2 more, and we certainly look forward to working with you in that regard. We recently found out that while developers are required to build the units, they're under no obligation to fill the units. We currently have a vacant unit at Zero Place, been vacant for months. They have no intention of filling it. It's just sitting there. Is there any way we can put a special condition in here that says if the unit becomes vacant, they will fill it? You don't have to answer off the top here.
Yeah, I think that this is an interaction with the affordable housing law, and we might need a little more discussion.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can
I'm
tell
just asking you to
you
look
what Tim
into it.
and Will came back with, so
Mhm.
I'll forward that on.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm just asking you to look into it on behalf of the planning board to see if there's any way we can put a special condition into approvals like this, where there are affordable units. And the owners are in no way responsible, they don't have to fill them, and they're literally sitting there vacant.
Yeah, I would be in support of that, but
Yeah.
let us know how that
Thank you,
can
Mr. Chairman.
be done.
We might need a vacancy law just in general. Because if all these buildings go up and they aren't getting the price they want, especially all those big new apartment buildings, those could match.
I honestly would be in support of that as well, but that's, you know, a village board.
You know, I think instead of like selling individual units as condos, you can sell it as a collective, as a co-op. Good night.
Good night.
Should I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? please?
Should I say the
All in favor?
Everyone said
Aye.
I'll send it to both of us. Yeah, okay. But it's, one,
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3. Okay. So I found them one down, but there were some things they asked. You guys can double check.
She's a little more honest, but she.
You know, they'll change them. Yeah.